Starting or launching a business can be a very exciting and rewarding journey for any individual out there, but things can quickly become a nightmare by just registering the wrong business type. So how do we prevent that from happening? Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Bisola Queen. I create content on finance, business and travel, and today we are focusing on the business side of things because I believe a lot of individuals out there might get to a certain point in time where they want to start or launch their own business, maybe by themselves, with their family or their loved ones. And once you get to this point, it becomes a very exciting and rewarding experience where you're like, oh, you are just ready to dive headfirst to get into it and start running your business. But at what point do you decide if it's time for you to register the business, or do you have to get a business name? What kind of business should you register, and all of this good stuff? This video is more specifically for those living in Canada, which is where I live. But if you are living elsewhere, you might be able to benefit a thing or two from it as well. So generally, there are three different business types. We have the sole proprietorship, partnership and corporation. A sole proprietorship is an individual who owns and runs a business. A partnership is when two or more people come together to run and form a business. Then a corporation is a legal entity that is owned by an individual or a group of people that come together to start a business. So these are the three popular business types: a sole proprietorship and a partnership. They kind of have the same kind of benefits, just that there are two people running the businesses. So today we are going to focus more specifically on sole proprietorship and corporation, because I believe these are the two types that most people get that conflict of whether they should register a sole proprietorship or a corporation. When I first registered my business back when I was in Nigeria, I knew the kind of business I wanted to register was a limited liability company, period. When I moved to Canada, I knew I had different options of what kind of business to register, and I was torn between sole proprietorship and corporation. But because I already knew from back home the kind of business I was running, it was kind of easy for me to lean towards registering a corporation, and that was the best decision for me. I'm so glad I took that route. However, this might not be the case for everyone. It might not be as easy as that, or might not be black and white for you to make that decision, and that is exactly why I'm making this video. So let's talk about the core differences between a sole proprietorship and a corporation. A sole proprietorship would have limited liability. What this means is the owner of the business and the business are considered as one legal entity. So in the face of the law, for taxes, for finance reasons, for legal purposes as well, you are considered one entity. So if you want to take a loan, it's your business taking that loan, but it's also you taking that loan. So if you're not able to pay back that loan, the people you're owing could come after you. At the same time, if your business faces any legal issues as well, the people that are coming after the business are also going to come after you. Same thing for tax purposes as well. When you file your taxes, you file one tax. So there's really no clear distinction between you and the business. If you register a sole proprietorship, it is considered one entity. And this is usually the simplest and the easiest form of business structure, because one, it's usually easy to register, it's very easy to start, and it's also cheaper, requires low startup costs, and very easy for most people. A lot of times, more people would lean towards creating a sole proprietorship compared to a corporation. So in what instance do you decide to go for a sole proprietorship? One, maybe the business is really new, you don't know for sure yet if you are going to even last in this business, if you can make money, you are not quite sure where the future is for the business. It's less risky, maybe you are not yet taking on as much business risk, you are not sure of how much money you make just yet, you are still deciding if this is even something that you want to pursue. That would be a very good time for you to decide that yes, I want to register a sole proprietor. You're just experimenting with it, registering a sole proprietorship would be the best option for you. One other key benefit that a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about sole proprietorship versus corporation is the tax benefit. I know people think corporations are the only ones that have tax benefits, but it is possible as well for you as an individual to benefit from having a sole proprietorship. And when does that happen? Let's say you as a sole proprietor, you incur some business expenses and you also have your personal income as well. You can write off those business expenses against your personal income. So let me give you a scenario here. Let's say you have a day job, a 9-to-5 job, and you're making $85,000 a year. Then you decided that you want to start a small business, a photography business. You have to buy camera, lighting, gears, and all of these things that would help you set up your business. Then you started the business during the year and you register your sole proprietorship. Let's say you have incurred about $15,000 in business expense, and maybe you were only able to make around $5,000 in sales. So at the end of the day, you are left with $10,000 negative, which is a loss, right? You are going to be able to write off that expense against your income that you have made during the year, which is $85,000, and now your own income, which you would be taxed upon, would now be at $75,000. So in this instance, you've been able to cut back on your taxable income, which would in turn benefit you as an individual. So this is a really good way for you to save money on taxes, especially if you are still testing out things, you're just starting up, you are trying to put things in place maybe, or you have other income and you're yet to start making income from your business, or maybe this is still a passion project for you that you're working on and you are not actively putting in as much time into it just yet, but you are incurring expenses already. You might be able to write that off against your personal income. Now let's get into corporation. A corporation is a business type that is considered a separate legal entity from its owners. So what this means is you have a business here, you decide that, hey Bisola, I want to start up a business, then I create a separate entity which is considered a separate legal entity in the face of the law. So my business and me are considered two different persons. Yes, the business is not human, but it's considered a legal entity and a legal individual on its own. So what are some of the key features of a corporation? One, which is the most popular one, is limited liability. So what this means is, in the case of a lawsuit, your personal assets, your personal finances, and all that is protected from the business. So legally, they can only come after the income or the money or finances of the business. They cannot come after you personally. However, it doesn't mean there are no ways around it. So it's still recommended for you to have business liability insurance just in case anything happens. Either you have a sole proprietorship or you have a corporation, you should always have a liability insurance. This is the best way for you to protect yourself. However, in the case of a sole proprietorship where, let's say your liability insurance is up to $1 million, and once that amount passes for your insurance coverage, then let's say you are in trouble for about 1.2 million, the extra $200,000 on top of that, they might be able to get that from you in the case of a sole proprietorship, whereas in a corporation, it's going to be very hard for them to even do that. So having a corporation as a separate legal entity really helps you manage and protect your personal assets as an individual or the owner of that business. This will help you manage your business, financial, and legal responsibilities. The next major feature about a corporation is that they pay lower taxes. Corporations in Canada are taxed at a very, very low rate compared to an individual. Remember, as a sole proprietorship, whenever you pay your taxes and you are considered same entity, so you are taxed at the personal income tax rate. However, for a corporation, you are going to be taxed at a different, much lower rate compared to personal taxes. But I must warn you though, filing taxes for a corporation is very complex. It's completely different from filing personal taxes. You would have to file corporation taxes, sales taxes, and possibly payroll taxes, as well as file taxes for yourself. You might have to issue T4s, T4As if you have contractors, and all of these things. So this makes it a whole lot complex than just filing taxes for a sole proprietorship. Another distinguishing feature of a corporation is the ability to raise capital for that business. So let's say, for example, I own a corporation that is registered in my name, registered by me, and I am the only director of that business. And that business has been making profit over the years, and I've now built equity up to a certain extent. So let's say I want to get a loan from someone, or I want to get money from the bank. I can take that equity that my business has now grown and use it as a collateral to get loan from the bank. Or I can also sell out my business shares, which is the equity, to someone else and say, hey, come and buy a part of my business and bring some capital in. Then you would also be co-owners of this business, if that makes any sense. So this is also a way for you to raise capital. You can raise capital from the bank, you can raise capital by loans, you can raise capital by getting credit, you can also raise capital by selling shares. Whereas if you have a sole proprietorship, the only way you can raise capital is by getting a personal loan. Another significant feature of having a corporation is it gives your business credibility. I know that sometimes people like to feel like, oh, having a sole proprietorship also gives you credibility. Yes, but to an extent. Having a corporation is completely different, because now you can collect taxes from businesses. You just have a different entity. When companies ask you, especially when you're partnering with other companies, business to business, they give you that regard, that respect more when you have registered a corporation compared to just operating as an individual. Another core benefit is it's very, very easy for you to pass on your business to loved ones if you have a corporation compared to a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship, maybe they would have to register a new business. It's not that straightforward, it's not that easy. But with a corporation, you just need to add them as a director or owner, as part of the owners of your business. So it's much easier that way. So these are some of the core differences between having a sole proprietorship and a corporation. And I know that from what it sounds like, going for a corporation might seem like the logical thing to do, but trust me, it is not always the case. Sometimes having a sole proprietorship might be the best thing for your situation. If you are not sure yet about that business, if the business is not yet making a whole lot of money, or maybe every single profit that that business makes, you want to pay it back to yourself as an individual through dividends or payroll, then it's not going to make sense for you. So in that instance, you are better off having a corporation. One, if you are not quite sure of where your business is headed yet, then maybe go for a sole proprietorship. Two, if you are not sure that your business would make good profit or a decent amount of income, just stick with having a sole proprietorship. If you also feel like you are going to have to pay yourself every single profit that that business makes, then just stick to having a sole proprietorship. If you are not ready for the complex work, tax filing annual returns, and all these things that you have to do for a corporation, just stick with having a sole proprietorship. And the best thing is, if you have a sole proprietorship, along the line you decide that, okay, yes, my business has grown to this point, it is time for me to transition to having a corporation, you can easily close that sole proprietorship and start up a new corporation. So it doesn't hinder one another. Nothing is stopping you from starting a corporation if you are done with that sole proprietorship, or if your business has grown past that. But it's better for you to do it that way than for you to start off too early when you start incurring all of this business expense. Because trust me, it is more expensive for you to run a corporation. You would have to hire an accountant, you would have to hire a tax professional, you have to pay for all of this tax filing, you have to do so many other things as well. You would also have to pay a whole lot of money for registering the business as a corporation as well. So if you're not quite ready, just stick to having a sole proprietorship. Now, if you know that owning a business, you want to build this business, you want to grow it for a longer period of time, and you don't plan to pay yourself every single penny that that business make, then maybe a corporation will be better for you in this situation, because you're going to be able to preserve some of your business income as a business equity and continue to grow that, which protects you from paying taxes on that income. So what this means is, if you pay yourself all the money of your business as dividends or payroll, then that money comes to you as an individual, and you'd have to pay taxes on it from your marginal tax rate as a personal income tax, right? But if you're going to leave some of that money, maybe a bulk of the money that your business is making, you're going to leave it in the business to build equity and grow the business, or expand it even further, continue to reinvest, then just continue to have that corporation. It is better for you that way. You get to save money on taxes, you get more opportunities, and you can expand the business even further without taking extra loans from yourself. Also, when you have a corporation, there are so many tax write-offs that you can enjoy and benefit from, in turn lower your taxable income for that business and end up making you pay lesser amount of money in taxes. So for example, you can write off your critical illness insurance, health and dental insurance, and all this other kind of insurance that you as the owner of the business or the director of the business is benefiting. You can write them off as part of your business expense, whereas for sole proprietorship, it just counts as your regular expense. Anyway, with all of this explanation that I've given to you today, I hope you have been able to discern if you should be going for a sole proprietorship or a corporation. If you are not quite sure yet, I would recommend you speak to an accountant or a professional that will help you figure out these things. If you're sure and you're ready to register your business I registered mine using Owner. I'm going to leave the link below so you can use them. It was very easy and straightforward. It's a subsidiary of RBC. It was very easy to use. I did everything online in just one day. What I actually liked about them is the fact that they have some templates for the documents, articles of association, and all of these documents that you need to prepare to register your business. It made it quite super easy for me to register. So I'll leave the link below. If you want to use Owner, go ahead and use them. So let me know below, as this video helped you decide on maybe you should register a sole proprietorship or a corporation, or you just realize now that you are not quite ready to even register a business at all. Leave a comment below. I would like to hear from you. If you also have questions for me, leave them below, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.